Cooper River Bridge Run race officials announced on Thursday that participants in this year's race will have to provide a proof of vaccination or a proof of a negative COVID test in order to participate. Today, I talked with Irv Batten, the race director for the Cooper River Bridge Run, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Irv Batten, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks, Quintin. Always a pleasure.
Oh, likewise. Obviously, you are the executive race director for the Cooper River Bridge Run, and I want to take you to some developing news from yesterday. You all posted this on Facebook, quote, following a requirement from the city of Charleston and keeping with other race protocols across the country, the Cooper River Bridge Run Board of Directors has implemented a vaccine or test requirement for entrance into the 44th annual Cooper River Bridge Run. All participants, as you know, will be required to present a proof of complete vaccination series or a negative COVID-19 test result received within 72 hours of the start of the Bridge Run Expo. Upon successful verification of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test, race participants will gain access to their bib numbers, which can be picked up from the Bridge Run Expo at the Charleston Area Convention Center coming up in a few weeks here on September 23rd from 12 to 8 p.m. and September 24th from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. But Irv, let me ask you this. Why now versus not in July?
Well, that's a really good question, Quintin. The city of Charleston contacted us a few days ago and said that that was a requirement now. So we just have to implement it so we could have the event. So it would have been nice to have it months ago, but that's where we're at. So,
well, why not just cancel the race altogether?
Well, we don't. We have everything ready to go. The security team and the staff and we have everything lined up and ready to go. So I think this is just we have to do a little sidestep. About 70 to 80% of the participants have commented or have agreed to it. So, I mean, we're just going to move forward. I know there are some that are upset and frustrated. You know, we're frustrated that it happened at this late date, but you know, we need to put on the event, and we're going to do it as safe as we can. So, we're going to embrace this new requirement, and we're going to move forward and do the best we can to implement it.
Okay, you said the city of Charleston says this is going to be a requirement. Is that the same with the town of Mount Pleasant?
No, the city of Charleston made that request that it's a requirement for us to have the event.
They made that request, Irv, but can you all follow through, or should you have followed through?
Well, we had to. That was part of the agreement. They wanted it, or we couldn't have the event. So we agreed to doing it so we could have the event.
Since this vaccine requirement, vaccination and test requirement, that is, how many people have actually switched to virtual?
We've only had, as of last night, we only had 300 people switch out of the 25,000. So that is not a very large number that have switched. So that's what I was saying. About 80% of the registered participants are okay with the requirement, or they've adjusted to the requirement. This might be the new normal for other large events. I know Boston has implemented, New York City Marathon, Chicago Marathon, other large events about the size of the Bridge Run have implemented this. Unfortunately, we had to do it with 2.5 weeks before the event, but you know, we're gonna do the best we can to meet the needs of the city.
Yes, sir. I know that, and as you know, I ran the Chicago Marathon in 2002, so I love that marathon immensely. But how does the vaccine, the vaccination and the test requirement affect those that already have their bib numbers and packets?
We've reached out to those, and we're working with them to do some type of verification. Like I said, the best we can. So,
okay. If people want to go virtual with this race, Irv, will the race packets are the race packets currently being mailed out right now?
No, we've mailed out the ones that have already decided on that. Now, the virtual race, if people decide to switch to the virtual run, They will be mailed after we finish the live event, and we have time to organize all that, and we'll send all those out after the live event.
And I hate to ask this question, but does this mean that there will not be any spectators on the race route or at the finish line?
We cannot control spectators on the race route. We are asking spectators not to come to the finish festival because we want to keep it as safe as possible. If they do show up, we're asking them to wear a mask, but we cannot stop them from being on the course or around the finish area. If they have a mask, that's great. I mean, that's what we're basically requiring or asking them to do, is to wear a mask to keep everyone safe.
And I went ahead of myself on this particular question. But how are you all going to police those who pick up packets for other people?
We already contacted a lot of those, and if they pick up a packet for someone else, they need to have that person's a copy of their photo ID and a copy of their card, the negative test or the vaccination card, and just show that, and we'll give it to them.
In hindsight, Irv, why not just lower the participant cap?
We've already done that. We lowered it to 25,000. So, and we've already sold out. So we had that. We shut down registration a number of days ago. We've met that 25,000 cap, and so anyone that does not wish to participate, they don't feel comfortable, or they don't want to abide by this requirement that has been set forth by the city for us to have this event, they could switch to the virtual, and we'll be glad to send them their finisher's medal and their T-shirt and stuff.
So, I've done a lot of interviews with you about really the 2020 bridge run and the 2021 bridge run, and after 2 postponements and a last-minute change, obviously with this vaccination test requirement, why no refunds?
Well, we've already, like I've said in the past, this is so close to the event, and we have already spent, the money for T-shirts. We've already had a lot of large expenditures like the buses and everything. So that's what their registration fee goes towards, and we wouldn't be able to give those out because we've spent that money to line all that other stuff up, like the fencing, the security, etc. The portalets, all that stuff has already been set up and arranged, and it's too late to try to change any of those things.
Why is a vaccination and test requirement necessary for an outside social distance event?
That's a good question too. That is just a requirement that was laid on our lap from the city that to have this event. So we have to abide by that requirement so we can have the event.
Are you going to test the vaccinated as well?
No.
Okay. Why not just require a negative test for all participants, Irv?
Well, that's fine too. If it's either way, you could have a negative test or the antibody test or the vaccination card. We're giving them as many options as we can to meet this requirement.
Will rapid tests be available at the Expo?
We are trying to work on that with this short notice. I know there are some areas or some locations near the Expo that are already giving free rapid tests. We're trying to reach out to them and see if we could send anybody over there that comes to the Expo that doesn't have it. So we're working on all that. It's just, like I said, it's been really short notice, and we're trying to do the best we can to get all these ducks in a row so we could meet the requirement.
When did you all meet with the city of Charleston on this vaccination test requirement?
This was done just what is today? Less than a week ago. About a week ago. So this has been laid on us, and we had emergency meetings with our board and went back and forth, and the board agreed that we want to have this event, so we have to do this, and I'm implementing it as the race director, and like I said, we're going to do the best we can to do this and put on a safe event, and have the 44th annual Cooper River Bridge Run.
And obviously, speaking of a space safe event, that is, Irv, does this also mean that the volunteers will be vaccinated as well, or should be vaccinated, or be required to vaccinate?
The requirement is only for participants, so that's what we're following.
Well, let me ask you this, Irv. Why not check for vaccinations when entering the corrals instead of the expo?
The easiest way to have the manpower is when they pick up their bib. So that was just the easiest way we figured out how we can do it, and we wouldn't want to have everyone trying to cram into the corrals, and have that long lines outside of the corral. So we just decided to do it at the expo when there has a 2-day process of people to come in, and we could spread them out better, and it wouldn't be there would be areas to socially distance as they get their bib. It's just the easiest way. It's a 2-day process.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What if race participants can't make it to the Bridge Run Expo? How can you actually check them? That's probably a redundant question.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, what if race participants can't make it to the Bridge Run Expo? How will you check them that way?
Well, they have to pick up their bib number somehow, so that would be the process. Like if I picked up yours, I'd have to have your photo ID and a photocopy of your vax card or negative test. So I just show that and I'd get your bib for you.
Now, for those who are doing the charity part of this particular race, can they switch to virtual? And who can do that? Will it be the captain or the actual members?
Anyone can switch to virtual. Anybody that has a race bib assigned to them can switch to virtual. And we sent everyone a step-by-step process. I think it's like 3 or 4 steps that they'd have to follow. And like I said, we've had over 300 people, around 300 people do that yesterday. I'm not sure how many have done it last night. I haven't been to the office. I'm over here, but I could check on that and let you know. But it's an easy process, and we gave it step by step. And then if someone does have problems, they can contact us and we can help them walk through it.
Is there anybody who's exempt because of medical or religious reasons?
We will do that on a case by case basis, Quintin. Anybody that brings a card or something, or a note from a doctor or something, we will address that on a case to case basis.
And I know this is very, very far out, but let me ask you this. Since you all have made this decision about the vaccination test requirement, do you know how many people have actually signed up for the 2022 race?
We have not opened registration for that yet, and we'll wait until after September 25th so we can have everything lined up. Most likely, unless things change, most likely we will have to have this same requirement, and we could always back away from it in the future. But it sounds like it might be the new normal until it's safer outside with in the hospitals are at a less capacity where they're at right now.
Let me reset. What's new at this year's Bridge Run?
What's new? I mean, social distancing, wider aisles at the expo, masks required at the expo, at the buses. I mean, it's all COVID mitigation basically is what's new. And like I said, we're going to focus on trying to do the best we can to make it as safe as we can for everyone involved. Spectators, participants, volunteers, staff, security, and medical teams. So we're all in this together. We just need to support each other and try to work with each other. I know, like I said, a lot of people are frustrated, and we are too. But we need to all work together and try to make this as safe as we can, so we can do it. And it's a lot of businesses downtown are looking forward to it. It's a really a big boost for their businesses and the hospitality and everything, and we want to do that. So please, my message to everyone is: I know that this is a extra thing we have to do, but let's please try to work together and make this as safe as we can, and let's have fun and do it right. So.
And do it right. Okay, so once I won't be participating this year, obviously, but for those people who are going to be finishing the Bridge Run and heading to the Finish Festival, what can we expect there? More social distancing?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to ask people to put the mask back on after they finish when they're in the finish festival area. When you're drinking and eating, you don't have to wear that. When you're running, you don't have to wear that. Walking, you don't have to wear that. But if you're in a crowd where you cannot have that distance between you, and we just asking you to do that. We're not going to come around and get in your face and say put that mask on. But we're just asking everybody to be cooperative and help us do the best we can with this, and we'll all get through it. So
Yes, indeed. And obviously, you to talk about masks on the school buses. Will a mask be required on these school buses going over to the bridge run?
yes, we're going to follow the bus company protocol. So masks will be required. We're going to ask people while they're in line to get on the buses if they're so close they need to wear a mask. So yeah, and like I said, in the corrals you need to wear a mask at the expo. So we're just, like I said, we're going to try to do the best we can, and we're going to ask everybody to help us out and let's have a safe event.
Now, me and you talked earlier, about a week ago, when I had that issue with the hot dehydration when I ran from downtown Charleston to North Charleston and back. How should somebody prepare for this humidity who has not prepared for this before?
Yeah, please start drinking water and Gatorade or whatever you like. And the days prior, if you're not getting up once in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you're probably not hydrated. And you learned that. I mean, you don't want to get out on a run, and then once you start feeling thirsty, it's too late. So please be hydrated. It's so nice out now. It's hopefully this weather stays the same for another couple of weeks. So we have a beautiful, cool, Saturday morning to run.
Absolutely, and nobody will have any trolley horses or anything like that either.
Yes.
Well, Irv Batten with the Cooper River Bridge Run, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, Quintin, and always good to see you. Next time it's got to be in person.
Yes, sir. I'll make that happen.